Hello guys, myself Prasant Kumar, working as an assistant professor in Government Engineering College Bikaner in the Department of Information Technology. So in the last lecture we have discussed about switch, break and continue control statements. So today we are going to discuss about functions in C. So let us start with the definition of the functions, then declaration, definition, how to call a function with examples, and finally with a program question. Okay, now let us start with the function definition. So a function is a set of statements that takes input to some specific computation and produces the output. So function is nothing but it is a collection of programming statements or that code statements that take inputs. That function take input, it completes some task and produces the output. So why the first point which comes into our mind, that why we need functions. So what is the benefit of the function? So the first thing is, the idea is to put some commonly repeatedly done task together and make a function, so that instead of writing the same code again and again, we are writing that code at some place and we are reusing that code. So first benefit of the function is that reusability of the code. Like in our normal program, we are writing the whole code in the main. Suppose again we want that same kind of code, then again we are writing for that thing. Suppose we want to run a loop, then again and again we have to write code for this. And suppose if we have function for that thing, then directly we can call that function instead of writing again and again lines of code. So the main advantage of function is reusability of the code again and again. Second thing is, functions make code modular. That is how, consider a big file having many lines of code. It becomes really simple to read and use the code if code is divided into functions. So the second thing is, when we are writing lines of code, it will become messy if the lines of codes are more. So if we are converting the complete code into the modules or in the functions, then it will be easy to read and easy to understand the code. Third thing is, functions can provide abstraction. For example, we can use library functions without worrying about their internal working. So first thing is here that function provides abstraction. So it is a new word. So what is the meaning of abstraction? Abstraction is nothing but hiding the internal processing of the function, and just we are showing that okay, type this and it will work like this. So second term is, we can use library functions. So first of all, I want to tell you that the type in C there are two type of functions. First one is library functions and second one is user defined functions. Now in this lecture we will talk about user defined functions. So what are library functions? So library functions are nothing. These are the functions which are declared in C header files, such as such functions are as scanf, printf, for strings gets, puts, and power, ceiling and floor. So there are many kind of library functions which are available in the C. So where these functions are residing in the in the compiler, when we are calling these functions, where are these functions? These functions are in the header file. Suppose we are writing stdio.h, then the functions like printf and scanf or functions related to standard input output we can use directly without telling the internal working of that function, or without writing code for that function. Like scanf we are directly using, printf we are directly using. So again, header files like math.h, so we can use power function. For string.h header file we can use gets and puts, and in math ceiling and floor functions are also we can use directly. So these are library functions which are inbuilt. So in this lecture we'll talk about how to declare our own functions or user defined functions. Okay, now let us understand. A function declaration tells the compiler about the number of parameter functions takes, data types of parameters and return type of the functions. Parameter, data type of the parameter and return type of the functions. So first thing we will talk about the function declaration, how to declare a function. To declare a functions we have to what will be the syntax. Syntax will be, we have to tell the compiler about the parameter of the functions, how parameters number of parameters the function will take, and data types of that particular parameters, and return type of that particular function which you are writing. Putting parameter names in function declaration is optional in the function declaration. Okay, in the function, but it is necessary to put them in the definition. So putting parameter names means parameter names like suppose we are here parameters nothing but arguments. Parameters are nothing but argument list. So argument list is same as parameters. So in the function declaration will be like, first we will give the return type of the function, second thing will be function name and space, then bracket, and then we'll be giving arguments. Arguments means parameters can be 2 parameters, 3 parameters, or can be a type of integer, like we can here in argument, instead of writing an argument list we can write int comma int comma int. So it means we are passing 3 parameters of type integer, so no need to give parameter name. If you want to give parameter name then also it is okay. So we can write here int comma int, or we can write int x comma int y comma int z, likewise also we can give. So when we are declaring a function then no need to give parameter name, but when we are defining the function then we have to give parameter names. So it is always recommended to declare a function before it is used. So it is always recommended in C that whenever you are using a function, then if you are not defining the function then it is okay. So up to now we have discussed only about the declaration. So if you want to use a function in your program, then first declare this. Without declaration don't use the function, because in C when you are not declaring the function, then automatically instead at the place of the return type, automatically it will consider that function as a return type of that function as a integer. So if you are taking if your function which you will write later, if that function will return something different other than integer, then it can show a warning or it will show an error. So it is always recommended that if you are not defining, it is okay, just declare the function before you want to use the function. Okay, how to define a function, here we will see. So function definition, how will give like return type of the function and function name, and third thing is argument list. We have to give return type of the particular function, function name, argument list, and the body of the function will be here, the code which you want to execute. But in case of declaration, that body was not there, simply just declare the function. Here definition of the function is given into the body part, and complete function definition is here. And third thing is function call, how to call a function. Just type the function name wherever, I mean in the main, when you want to call the function, just type the function name and brackets, give the list of the arguments. So then it will be successful call to a function. Now one important point is there. Suppose if you are when you are declaring the function and defining the function, then if you are not giving the argument list, argument list is empty. Suppose here return type function name argument, so it can be empty, or you can give, if you want to give argument, then you can give. If this is empty, if this list is empty, then at the time of call a user can pass any number of arguments. So in C it is always recommended that return type, if you want to give explicitly, then give it, otherwise make it void. If your no return type is there, then type just void, and at the place of argument list also just type void. Void means no arguments will be passed. So if you if you are not passing any argument here, then if a user accidentally or intensely want to pass some arguments without here giving the number of arguments, like I have told you earlier, int. If that argument list here at the time of declaration we are simply just writing here empty, then at the time of call, if you are calling, if you are passing parameter, then it is okay. In C there will be no error. So function call, here function argument list. So at the time of declaration, do not leave that argument list like simply empty. Don't leave that list empty. So either type void or either type parameters, or how many parameters you want to pass. Okay. Now just take an example to understand how the complete things runs, means declaration to definition to the running part. Okay, now just we'll go through that example. So this example is without argument and return value. So this function this program, in this program we are using a function which is in which we are not passing any argument and which is not returning a value, means void and void. Return type is void, and here at the place of the argument list we have not taken any argument here, so it is empty. So it is recommended at the place of empty we will write void, but here it is not written, so it's okay, no problem. It will not show an error, but it is recommended that just type void here at this place. So okay, go through this. First thing is hash include stdi.h. Second thing is we are declaring a function void, the return type of the function, print name, that is the name of the function, and in brackets that is empty, so no argument. So recommendation is just in brackets type void, otherwise it is okay. And then void main, so main is also not returning anything. So in main we are writing printf hello, so it will print hello. Then print name we are calling. So here what we are doing, we are calling the function print name here. So we are declaring the function before calling the function. First point is covered. Second thing is we are calling that function. So what that function will do, so we are defining our function here. So that function is nothing but return type function name, and then what that function body, what the function body will do, it will print hello. And then when we will execute print name here inside the main, then what it will do, it will just print hello again. So what will be the output for that program will be hello. So this hello for printf function of the main program, and second h is small case, so hello, that is from print name function, which is defined or explicitly defined by user. So that is how function declaration, definition and calling works together. Okay, moving to the next point. So some of the important points, like Empty parameter list in C means that the parameter list is not specified, and functions can be function can be called with any parameters. Yeah, I have already explained you about this. So in C, it is not a good idea to declare a function like function. So just give return type as void if no return type is there, and inside the argument list, just do not leave this thing as empty. It is not the recommendation. You can leave, it will not show error, but in the argument list, if you don't want to give any argument, or your functions or your function do not require any argument or any parameter, then just type void in the at the place of the parameter. Second point, to declare a function that can only be called without any parameter, we should use void function. Yeah, same thing. And now we are moving to the last point. It is a assignment. Just pause the video and try to complete that program or write a functions to calculate the area of the square. Okay, now we'll talk about solution. So here we want to calculate the area of the square. So first thing is nothing but has include stdio.h, that is header file. Now we are declaring our function integer square. So first thing we'll see what we want. So for the square, suppose I want to calculate the area of a square. So parameter is the square of the side. I means we want to calculate the area, then area is side square. So we want to take input as side. So we want to take input means we want a parameter in our function. So first what we'll do integer square. So what it will do, integer square, our function is declared, then void main, then printf, we are saying we are going to calculate the area for a square. So float area means area can be in the float also, and then the statement printf the area in square, area of the square is %f, so area can be float, and area we want to print our area. So that is our function definition here. So this will tell how our square function will work. So we are taking floats variable, float type variable, named as side, and second thing is printf enter the length of the side in meters. So we are entering the length. Here we are taking input side, and then we are returning side into side. What we are doing here in our function, in our square function, what we are doing, just taking input side, and what that function is returning side into side, so side square. So in square, no need to take any parameter, just we are writing the definition of the square function here only, and just we are calling our function here. Square is directly called. So what will be the output of the function? First thing it will print going to calculate area of the square. Second thing will be side into side, float area equal to square. So in area, what will go? Side into side. Side into side will go into area. So suppose we are giving side value is 10, which is taken here as a input from keyboard. So suppose we are taking 10. So in area, it will 100 will go into area. And third thing is printf area of the square. So output will be the area of a square will be percent, then area of a square will be 100. So output of the function will be going to calculate the area of the square, and the area of the square will be 100. So that will be our final output of our program. So that is how function is declared, defined, and called. So yeah, here references I have used again Dennis Ritchie and Geeks for Geeks, and third one is Java T-Point. So yeah, that's it for the day, for the lecture. In the next lecture we'll discuss next topic. Yeah, thank you so much.